All right, so I'm finally doing my food intolerance video for you guys. Let me first say, I am not a doctor, nor do I pretend to be. Don't follow my advice. Talk to your health professional. This is just my experiences and only my experiences. So yeah, let's jump right into it. I've gotten on social media and I've talked about my food intolerances here and there without getting really specific about everything. But I decided to I decided to finally make a video because a lot of people gave me feedback that they suffered from intolerances or allergies, or they thought they did, they weren't sure, etc. So I thought that maybe by putting my story out there and all the information I have gathered, that I can help someone else. First things first, let's discuss the difference between a true food allergy and an intolerance. So an allergy can seriously affect your internal organs, your immune system, and can be life-threatening, obviously, in certain cases. An intolerance, don't get me wrong, it can be mild to severe, but it's typically digestive issues. It can be obviously more severe, like if you're celiac, that's, there are different levels of food intolerances, and there's there's obviously different levels of food allergies. I don't have any food allergies whatsoever. I had a very light, I had a slight egg white allergy, but it was so low that it doesn't even count. It was like a level 2, and food allergies are based on a scale from 1 to 4 typically. But enough about that. We're going to talk about food intolerances. You can do at-home tests. You can have your doctor test you to find out if you have any food allergies or intolerances. So I have done only doctor's tests for food intolerance, but that I did order 2 kits that I'm going to be trying out here with you guys, and I'll be letting you know how that turned out in another video. But we'll get to that later. First things first, my story. So in my 20s, I got diagnosed with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. If you don't know anything about it, Google it. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but that can also go from mild to severe, and it's not fun, tell you that much. Yeah, it's not fun at all. But when I was in my 20s, it wasn't that severe. They were like, oh, you should do the low food map diet. And I was like, I took one look at the low food map diet, and I was like, absolutely not. Like, there is no way I'm following this diet. And it, like I said, it wasn't terrible, and I didn't really get issues. And then it started creeping up on me, I would say, when I turned 36, 37. Couldn't figure out what was going on. I was having all these stomach issues, and then it got to the point where it was really severe, and I was actually freaked out, and I thought I had like cancer or something very serious going on. I'm not even lying to you guys. So I went to my regular doctor, and she was like, have you ever been diagnosed with IBS? I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I ignored it, the whole 9 yards. So she sent me to a specialist. Again, the doctor was like, has anyone ever diagnosed you with IBS? And I was like, yeah. And the doctor was amazing. He was like, look, just to make sure, I'm going to run all the tests to make sure that you don't have something more serious going on, colonoscopy, the whole full thing. It's just to make sure I didn't have peace of mind, basically. But he was like, I'm pretty sure you just have severe IBS going, and you need to follow the low food map diet. The low food map diet. So I was gonna try to pronounce, food map, but I'm just gonna type it out for you guys. I can't pronounce this. But food map stands for a long word. Yeah. But it's basically short chain carbs and sugar and how your body absorbs them or lack of. And so you have to follow this pretty intense, difficult diet that eliminates personally a lot of my favorite fruits and veggies. So it was tough for me. However, the good news is that it's not forever, typically. In some cases, where people have severe GI issues, then yes, they do have to go on it long term or take medication. So mine was temporarily, and then what you can do, like any other food intolerance, you're supposed to eliminate for a certain amount of time, and then you reintroduce little by little. And that's when you should keep a food journal. And right now, I'm gonna show you the one I use. So this is the journal that I use, food sensitivity. And I'm gonna show you my actual pages. Hold on. Kinda good. But you track your meals, any symptoms, reactions, and if you want to, bowel movements, and the time, and then that way you can figure out what foods affect you and don't affect you. Okay, so you got a glimpse of my food journal. So this is crucial if you think you might have food intolerances. It's not easy to do. You don't want to carry a journal around. There's apps. You can do it on your phone. I would sometimes put things on my notes and then copy it in my journal just because I liked being able to look and see. And it's helpful to take to your doctor. So yeah, so you kind of have to figure out what foods aggravate your, basically what food aggravates your system. So the main signs of food intolerances are going to be like nausea, bloating, gas, diarrhea, those lovely stomach issues. Yeah. So yeah, and they can go from, like I said, mild to severe. And a lot of people have food intolerances and don't even realize it. There are 8 common food intolerances, with gluten and dairy being the big ones. And you will not realize how many foods have gluten in it until you can't eat it. So yeah, it's crazy. Lots of sauces. So if you're supposed to steer clear of gluten, you have to be super careful when you're going out to eat somewhere, because gluten is hidden everywhere, just everywhere. So yeah. Wait till that passes by, it's really loud. Still going. All right, so anyways, so yeah. So I actually followed the diet for a good amount of time. It's really hard, but I still honestly wasn't feeling that great. And I started looking at more natural remedies, and I kept seeing peppermint oil and acai powder and black walnut, all these other homeopathic natural remedies that supposedly helped with people with IBS. I actually found 2 products on Amazon that I've been taking, and they have helped tremendously. And I'm gonna list them in the comment. I'm gonna link them for you guys. And again, I'm no expert. It may not work for you. go get diagnosed from your doctor. I don't know what I'm talking about for the general public. This is just my experience. But yeah, so back to my original, the elimination diet. You can Google a low food map diet for fun. Yeah, it's miserable. It's miserable. So I wanted to end all this with saying that I kept researching all this information online, and a lot of things weren't helping me, to be honest, until I found these pills and until I changed my diet. But I don't follow a strict low food map diet. I eliminated a lot of foods that contain preservatives. I tried to only eat fresh, natural. I'm not saying necessarily everything has to be organic. I do think it's important for certain things, but like your bananas, whatever. I don't know. To each their own. I'm not going to tell you what to buy. But I noticed that when I eat fresh foods or when I cook myself, I tend to feel better, which is why I prefer meal prepping as opposed to like buying food from outside sources. I mean, I still have to, obviously, every once in a while. And some places are better than others. Don't get me wrong. And I still go and get burgers here and there, and I still cheat and have pizza here and there. But ever since I started eating better quality foods and I stopped snacking on these horrible things with all these preservatives and artificial crap in them, basically, I started feeling better, and I think that's the key. I actually eat sandwiches a couple times a week now, and they don't really give me issues. I have noticed though that if I eat, like if I'll have 2 sandwiches like 2 days in a row, I don't feel good. So I try to like space it out. I did have one doctor mention that you can create your own food intolerances by eating the same foods over and over again. And when I first got diagnosed with food intolerances, my intolerances were vinegar, almond, and egg white, and gluten. I'm gonna tell you right now, every morning I would eat a poached egg on whole wheat toast. I would do a shot of apple cider vinegar. I do those again. And then I would eat almonds to try to like curb my appetite with like a glass of water. Like those were my staple every day. And my doctor basically told me that when you eat the same things, it can overpower your system, and then your body rejects it and you become intolerant to them. So it's good to space things out. So now I try not to eat the same things every day. So I will eat rice on my weightlifting, like rice or pasta. I do eat pasta on my weightlifting days. And then I try to do lower carbs on the days that I'm not lifting weights. It's also important to get enough protein and to actually eat enough, because I went through a period where I was hitting a plateau and not feeling good, and I thought I was eating healthy, but I wasn't eating enough. And when you're not eating enough, you're not gonna lose weight, or you're not gonna maintain or feel good. So you gotta find that balance too, and you have to adjust that depending how active or how not active you are. So it's a case-by-case basis, and I can't tell you what to do for you. But all I can tell you is that listen to your body. That has been key for me, and it is so important. And I can't say that enough. You have to figure out what works for you, even what doctors may tell you. I'm not saying that your doctor doesn't know what they're talking about, but my doctor had, your doctors aren't with you 24/7. They can only go by what you tell them. And sometimes you have to go with like your gut instinct or what your gut is telling you, that literally feeling. So that's my advice to you. And I'm gonna take these 2 food intolerances test with you guys. And I'm gonna tell you about them, how they work. One of them is a finger prick blood test. The other one is a saliva and hair test. And I'm gonna go over the pros and cons of both of them. And we're gonna do that next. I'm kind of nervous about pricking. I might not do that on camera, we'll see. But I'm gonna grab the kits and I'm gonna explain them to you. And we're gonna go over them, and then when I get my results back, I'll make another video. And then I'm gonna end this with showing you a few of my favorite cookbooks that have made my life so much easier. The Quiet Gut, the Healthy Gut cookbook. There is an IBS cookbook that I picked up. But yeah, it's really just, for me, it was about just eating better. It's pretty much what it was. And taking these 2 magical pills that I feel like have helped me a lot. It might be a combination. I don't know. Peppermint oil is very soothing for the stomach if you have stomach issues. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. These are the 2 products that have been life-saving to me. And you're supposed to take them twice a day, but honestly, even when I take them only once a day, I've noticed a huge difference. So I'm pretty excited about these. These are the cookbooks that I've been using that I recommend.